Gabe Almazan is crushing it professionally. He's a classic high achiever. He's passionate, driven, accomplished, but he needed to make some tweaks in his mindset, make some changes in his lifestyle. By his own admission, he was at a crossroads. So we worked together for a bit, and today we're going to unpack exactly what happened. If you're like him, if you're like me, if you want to do more good for more people in more places, you're going to love this conversation, I promise. Don't go anywhere, and welcome to Headspace.
High level is I'm in Maui, Hawaii. Currently living in paradise. It's very nice.
Okay.
I work for a medical company, Kaiser Permanente. I do facilities is my specialty. The clinics and the hospital for the state of Hawaii. So all the islands, I kind of take care of their facilities.
Did you catch that? Gabe has a lot of responsibilities. He runs all of the facilities for the Kaiser Permanente hospitals in the state of Hawaii. He's active in his local church. He is a certified grief recovery specialist, getting certification in the metanoia method. And he also has a blended family, a big blended family.
Right. Mm-hmm. This is my second marriage. So I have 4 children together. I have 3 from a previous marriage and 1 stepson who is 15 going on 16. We don't use the word stepson, but I'm just qualifying here. But yeah, right. And we got 2 grandbabies in San Diego.
And he's pretty fit. Check out how he starts his mornings.
Well, typically I get up at 4:35 the latest if I'm really running late. And then I'll get up, cold shower. I'll do my workout right away.
Okay, he gets up at 4:30 in the morning. So pretty much early on, we understood this is an intense guy. And I think that's where we started looking first. Because if you're an intense guy and you're very serious about everything, you might be missing something really important.
I really get into people's lives, really try to help them out. So there's a lot of meaning, a lot of deep connection. But I was missing, the fun aspect. Like there wasn't a whole lot of fun going on with my friends and with people I was trying to help, even with my family. So what was funny is that when I saw that aspect of my life, recognized it, and then I told my wife about it, and she agreed almost immediately, which was kind of funny.
So we pulled on that thread, and Gabe, being the intentional guy he is, made some changes pretty quickly with instant results. And it was just very gratifying to see a shift right away. So we continued to pull on that thread and discovered more things that needed his attention.
Time and time again in my life where burnout would occur. Okay. I would literally run myself into the ground. And I remember being in the Air Force one time and, I'm running the entire program, talking to generals. There's some serious situations going on. I remember just coming home and just feeling like numbness in my head, feeling like this is an intense amount of pressure and not knowing how to really self-regulate.
I really need you to hear me on this. Burnout is endemic among us high achievers. We tend to obsess over our professional lives and not obsess over our personal lives enough. It catches up with us, and then we can't even do our professional lives well either. And it always has its roots somewhere in our childhood.
I've seen that modeled over and over and over in my life. My dad, my grandfather, my family, being immigrants, coming out here, living, they opened a very successful business in San Diego, and they had a Mexican restaurant where all my family worked there, and they were all like that. And, and I got praise and accolades, and I got, all these high fives and stuff when I was working.
I'm a proud immigrant myself, and I consider our work ethic and our drive a superpower. On the flip side of the coin, though, if too much of our worth and our identity is tied to work and performance, it can really derail us in the long run. So these are the things that we need to find and we need to really fix if we want to fly higher and go further.
I heard this quote the other day. I was listening to it. It's like, you can win the rat race, but at the end, you're still a rat, So I was like, hey.
That's a good one. I like it.
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's totally my life story, like going from, I've always leveled up. I've never stopped. And that's the way my brain works. But it's like I'm just running a rat race, really.
One of the first things I try to address with the people I work with is naming the weaknesses and identifying the blind spots. And the difference between the two is very simple, actually. We get really good at something, so we double down on that, and we have some weaknesses, and they're sort of in the background, and people stop mentioning them because you're successful. And then those weaknesses, long enough, become these complete blind spots. You just are not even aware that they're there, and they're really hindering your progress, your growth, and your success in the long run.
When you can name it, you can tame it, right? That's the
Yeah,
whole thing. Like if you understand how you're operating, you can do
exactly.
something about it.
I don't know anyone who does not have some childhood trauma, especially if you have a blended family. I have a blended family, so I have so much respect and admiration for Gabe because he did some heavy lifting, and he took that blind spot and he aligned it with a set of practices that we call quick wins because they're there to produce instant results. So check out what he did.
It was literally just me picking up the phone
Right.
and choosing to call my mom every day. Or call my son every day. And, I think part of the insecurity was that, maybe my son wouldn't pick up,
Right.
because there's been a little bit of a blip in our relationship. And he picked up right away. It was readily available, and all I had to do was, put my heart on the line and pursue those things that I wanted. And and I got it. I'm grateful for those quick wins. I'm grateful for the encouragement and the accountability that this setting had for me. To really look at my life and really be honest and then go after it, and just being able to come to the class every week and share the quick wins was cool too, because, we're all going after it in different areas. And it was exciting to be able to share like, oh yeah, I actually implemented some of this stuff and it worked.
Here's another thing. We're not wired to do this alone. We're just not. We're tribal people.
I'm grateful to be here, to hear their story, because I know the power of listening. I know the power of being present, in people's lives. And I was definitely inspired, like to be in a group of like high achievers that were crushing it in life or going after all these things. But at the end of the day, we're all striving to be better in different areas of our lives. And some of us have strengths that others don't. And to be in a room where we can kind of balance each other out was awesome. I think even talking to my wife about it and before I entered the group, and we agreed that I needed to be in a room with like-minded folks.
Yeah.
Because I can often feel like maybe I'm too ambitious, or maybe like I'm ungrateful because I have these lofty ideas or lofty dreams. And I think sometimes when we're around people that don't think that like that, we can feel like maybe a little different.
So early on, when we're having a discussion with Gabe and his wife about him possibly joining my coaching program, I was talking to her, and he hadn't even told me any of this stuff. I said, to me, it feels like I'm broken sometimes. I have all these ideas, all these aspirations, and I know that most people are not that obsessed with that kind of stuff. And it feels like there's something wrong with me, and it feels lonely. And it's really helpful to be around people who can look at me and say, you're not crazy, you're just different. And she on the call just looked at him and she said, yeah, I think you need this. I think you need this. That was really special. Part of the reason why we feel a bit broken oftentimes when we're like that, when we're wired a certain way, is that people feel left behind, especially the people that are closest to us. So tell me about that. And I just loved one of the most important things, I think, from my perspective, some breakthroughs in your life, besides what you just listed, is how included, aligned your wife became.
Before I got into the group, one of the things that she said, she's like, I think she was feeling like maybe I'm ready to, explode. And then she's more of a thinker. I like to take a step back and understand what I'm doing. I'm more like, let's just do it.
Yep.
I always say I throw the ideas in the air and she's like shooting them down. You know what I mean?
This is a classic thing we do. We just go. We go fast. We storm the fortress and we leave our loved ones behind. And they love us, and we love them, and we leave them behind. And it hurts, and it hurts us because we need them. We need them to be with us. We need them to thrive long-term and to thrive together.
I really couldn't put my finger on where I was at, so it's causing this tension. And I love what we did with like the whole like slideshow at the end, like
Yeah.
what
The vision story,
what
the vision story.
vision do you have, and how are you going to get there? How are you going to? And it's really like looking through it and showing her.
Yes, I love that.
She's a thinker, and she wanted to see how my mind was processing all these things. So I did a 1-year breakdown.
And she loved it.
Every
right?
3 months, this is what I was going to do. Yeah. And she really loved it.
If you live reactively, maneuvering around obstacles and taking opportunities, more of life will happen to you. If you want to live proactively, you will happen to life. If you want the second scenario, you have to stop sometimes and think more deeply, breathe, and design a life that is much more intentional.
And I think that's what's so powerful about what we did is like you can be super ultra successful and have all these things implemented in your life, but you got to be careful. You have to look at what you're doing. You have to take a step back. You have to relax. And I think that's what it did for me, was be able to kind of like take a step back and be like, look at my life and like, what do I really want? Well, I want to have a fulfilled life.
Mm-hmm.
I want to live life to the full.
When I say take a step back, sometimes it means way back. One of the things that I do with my clients when we work together is have them write a letter to themselves at a very critical junction where they were way younger. And Gabe did this, and what I'm really proud of is that this is not a novice. He's very well versed in personal development. He teaches that. He's a facilitator, and he took it to heart, and this is what happened.
Yeah, I have to tell you, Christian, that I've done a ton of work, but I've never thought to go back to a pivotal moment in my life and talk to maybe my teenager self in that way. I didn't really think I was going to get much out of it, other than I'm just want to do my homework. I'm going to be diligent. I want to put my full heart into this work. And I just started sobbing. I was journaling. I was crying. I was journaling. I was crying. It was super healing to kind of go back and really just give my 17-year-old self a vision.
What I really admire about Gabe's posture of heart is that he is a very accomplished, very disciplined person who never stops growing, never stops looking for ways to grow. And his life is a testimony to that.
I'm going to be 46 this year. And this has been probably one of my best years. It's so simple.
Yeah.
But, like when you have the encouragement and the guidance, it's kind of like one of those things where like, men, they like to build stuff, but they don't read the instructions. It's a lot better when you read the instructions.
Yeah, no kidding. I want you to not miss this one phrase he dropped. And that is the secret of somebody like Gabe and people like him. If you get guidance, if you get coaching, you get places faster. We all have the same amount of time, and that's the one thing you cannot stretch.
And you get guidance and you're directed. You get there faster and you have a higher quality product. I see myself making maximum impact on the people around me, my family. And one of the ways I see that is being able to use my voice. I want to speak in front of 10,000 people. I want to have maximum impact.
At the end of our conversation, Gabe mentions that before we started working together, he was at this crossroads. He just didn't have enough clarity. All of us will get stuck many, many times in life. And most of us actually will decide to stay stuck. And by the way, staying stuck is a decision because of fear, because of paralysis. And what I want to tell you is that your life is too precious. Your talent is too unique for you to stay stuck. Make the decision to soar. Make the decision to move forward.
And I think that's where the crossroads thing was I was talking to you. I was like, man, like I just not sure, how to put my finger on where I'm at and how I'm feeling. I said, right now, I'm very sure that I need to make moves. I'm very sure where I'm going.
And you have your family on board with you. I think that's a big
totally
deal.
On board.
Totally on board.
Yes.
That's huge. Thanks for coming on and telling us the details and the nuances of your story. And I know you're going to do great things in life.
Thanks, Christian. I appreciate the time, man, and just allowing me to share. It was definitely life changing for sure.
Wait until the end of the bumper. Wait until the end of the credits, the bumper, and I'll drop one more piece of information about Gabe Almazan you are going to love. If you liked my conversation with Gabe, you will love my conversation with Brandon Nicely. So check it out next. He is also an alumnus of Xponential Life, a founder of a billion-dollar company, amazing human being, a personal friend, mentor, investor, genius. And he will share a lot of the insights that he gained about how to fly higher and go further in this episode. So don't miss it. Watch it next. Now, if this has spoken to you, and my coaching program is definitely not for everybody. It's for high achievers who are in a specific crossroads, just like Gabe, and you're one of those, check out exponential.life. Without the E, exponential.life. You can even book a free clarity call with us at exponential.life/talk. It's not for everybody, once again, but if it's you, you might want to check it out. Otherwise, please subscribe. Please share this with your friends. And thank you for all the love, for joining, for watching, for sharing your time with us as we bring you the best advice, stories, wisdom that we can bring. I promised to drop a piece of good news about Gabe after the bumper, and here it is. As we were talking during the interview, he told me that he's considering two very real, amazing career opportunities. One was in San Diego with a major university, and the other one was here in Austin with Tesla. And I love to see that and hear that because I really believe that when we sort of take a step back and we breathe and we design a life, certain things just show up magically. Don't ask me how it works. I'm not sure, but it does. And I'm so happy for Gabe and so proud of him.